Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rukah Kodash. Double honors to the elders of GMS who were well. Peace and salutations to the elect Akim on the four corners, pushing the truth and sincerity, helping to seal up the elect to get us out of here. Peace be unto you. This is going to be my first installment, Icons edition. And this is going to go into a little bit of history. It's called the Baptist War. I'm going to get straight to it without further ado.
Slavery itself remained legal in Britain's colonies until the 1830s. It seemed then, though it may not now, that emancipating existing slaves was a much more complex issue than merely abolishing the trade. Most British abolitionists hoped that with the trade abolished, the whole ugly system would simply wither away. When a new anti-slavery society was formed in Britain in 1823, it called itself the Society for the Mitigation and Gradual Abolition of Slavery. You get some sense of the level of urgency at play from that. This time the pace was forced not by idealists at home, but by missionaries in the field. In 1823, John Smith, an Anglican missionary on the island of Demerara, died in prison after being arrested for his role in a mostly peaceful slave insurrection. His death, far more than the deaths of the 250-odd slaves killed, his death caused a storm in Britain. Parliament debated the case of the Demerara martyr. Britain's pious politicians did not like slaveholders who killed missionaries. The story repeated itself in the so-called Baptist War in Jamaica in 1831-2. This is the biggest slave rising Britain ever faced. A Baptist deacon and slave named Samuel Sharp led a general strike. As he urged, the protest was astonishingly peaceful, even though some 60,000 slaves were involved, but there were a few violent incidents, and that was more than enough to provoke vicious reprisals. Sharp himself spent his brief time in prison preaching to his fellow inmates. He told a mission...
I'm going to take this back a little bit. By the time I, play it, I want to, pick back up. But this is a Jake right here. And it said he spent his time preaching. Now, I wonder what was he preaching out of? Now, if you want to know, you already know. Hence the word Baptist War and understanding what we, what we were taught and indoctrinated with, which is that Western Christianity, that this whole philosophy is masterminded by Esau. The actual book itself, no, that's not Esau, that's the Most High. Let me keep playing.
Named Samuel Sharp led a general strike. As he urged, the protest was astonishingly peaceful, even though some 60,000 slaves were involved, but there were a few violent incidents, and that was more than enough to provoke vicious reprisals. Sharp himself spent his brief time in prison preaching to his fellow inmates. He told a missionary friend that he learnt from his Bible that the whites had no more right to hold black people in slavery than black people had to make white people slaves. And he declared, "I would rather die upon yonder gallows than live in slavery." And on.
Now, anybody that reads the Bible, you'll understand that the Bible doesn't, condone kidnapping. Ultimately, it was the Most High that sanctioned this. Yes. It is the Most High's will that the slave trade happened because we broke the covenants of the Most High. Ultimately, it was us bringing upon ourselves, but the Bible does not condone the practice of kidnapping, Israelites and taking them across seas away from their land, beating them, robbing them of their heritage, stripping them of their language. The Bible, the Mosaic laws, shall I say? Let me be more specific. The Mosaic laws does not condone this at all. And let me keep playing.
The 23rd 23rd of May 1832, that's what he did. Again, though, what outraged the contemporary British public was the reprisals against white missionaries. One of the Jamaican missionaries was tarred and feathered by a white mob. His still-soiled neckerchief was solemnly taken home and exhibited around the country to fascinated horror. I mean, he himself was fine once he'd cleaned up. But this hit at a febrile moment in British domestic politics, and it helped to precipitate the formal abolition of slavery the following year. Not that the 1833 Act was a very heroic triumph. It tried to enforce a transitional period of unpaid so-called apprenticeship on freed slaves, which was cut short when it was manifestly not working. And slaveholders were also compensated handsomely for their financial loss. It is a sorry fact of 19th century emancipations that in every case but one, to which I'll return, slaveholders were financially compensated. Compensation which has never been returned, whereas no systematic compensation has ever been given to those who'd been enslaved or to their descendants.
Yeah, as of right now, it hasn't. But that's why, the scripture says, we're going to rob them that robbed us. The Most High is going to give us our reparations.
All they received was their freedom, which often meant freedom to be a near-destitute plantation laborer. Still, freedom it was and is.
And we aren't free. We're still in Babylon, even though Jamaica is not in the heart of Babylon. It's over here on the west, and they were enslaved as well, So this is just talking about how it's, it was a slave insurrection that was led by the Bible. This so-called white man's book. Here you got, a so-called Negro man reading this book in prison, and he's telling them, hey, we're not supposed to be slaves. And you find this theme, common amongst Nat Turner, Gabriel Prosser, Denmark Vesey, and I'm sure a few other people I can't name off the top of my head. But this Bible is far from a white man's book. All right, this is Jeremiah 9:13. And Yahweh saith, because they have forsaken my law, that they is talking about the Israelites, his people, which I set before them. Now, Psalms 157:19-20 said he showed his words unto Jacob, his statutes and judgments unto Israel. He have not dealt so with any other nation. And as far as judgments, they have not known them. Praise be Yahweh. Because the Most High was dealing with Israel. And still is dealing with Israel. He shall yet choose Israel. Read it from the top again. It says, and Yahweh saith, because they have forsaken my law, which I said before them, and have not obeyed my voice, neither walked therein, but have walked after the imagination of their own heart, which doing, following your own belly, and after Balaam, following other gods, which their fathers taught them. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the God of Israel, behold, I will feed them, even this people, with wormwood, and give them water of gall to drink. I will scatter them also among the heathen, whom neither they nor their fathers have known, and I will send a sword after them till I have consumed them. Now, prophecy fulfilled in Jamaica. They were scattered, taking their slaves over there to Jamaica. And this was, fulfillment of biblical prophecy right there. And this was because, we, as you read up verses 13 through 15 through 14, is because of our actions. We didn't keep the law, statutes, commandments. The Bible talks about, there's consequences to, doing bad. And these are consequences that we've, are suffering because of our own doing. Now, thinking overall that the Bible condones slavery, and that thinking that, you know, the Bible condones, you know, the enslavement of Israelites and the torture, the stripping and raping and the stuff like that. The Bible, we just saw it was a brother that was teaching out of it, and he was teaching fellow slaves out of it. And on that note, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders GMS who were well. Peace and salutations and shalom.